Hello everyone and welcome back to the Let's Learn Angular series where I record myself learning Angular in real time. It's kind of like a live stream, only it's not a live stream. And this is episode number 11 where we are following along with the Tour of Heroes application, this tutorial on the Angular site. And today we're going to be creating a hero search component. So just before we begin, like every single other episode in this whole series, I forgot to make a commit at the end of the last episode. So let's just take a quick look. So we added our delete hero method. We added some styles for some of those buttons. We added the delete button here inside of our hero list, which is what allows us to delete a hero. And then we got the delete method on the actual component, which calls out to our service. So let's just say add delete method to heroes. We'll commit that. I can close all these tabs. I don't need them right now. And we could jump back into the tutorial and begin. So create a hero search component with the CLI. We're gonna just grab this here, ng generate component hero search. And actually, you know what? Just for the sake of practice, I'm actually gonna type this out. So ng, let's get rid of all that stuff. So ng generate component, and we wanted this one to be called hero search, I believe. Hero dash search. Just hit enter, and so that didn't work. Because am I using the wrong version of npm again? Let's see, nvm list. I should be on 16.3. So I'm gonna go nvm use 16.3. And now I should have ng installed, and I do. So let's just let's do that one again. So if I control R and I start typing hero search, I can see the command that I typed there. I'll just hit enter. Great. So if I check out our Git tab here, just like every time we've created a component, but it's good to review this stuff over and over again. So remember, it created our component, but it also registered it in our app module, and then brought it down here in the declarations for us. And then we have our empty CSS file, our empty well, not empty, but it's got some placeholder text here. And then we get a scaffolded test, which we haven't gotten into yet. And then we get the actual component, which automatically gave us a selector here and wired up our template and our CSS, which gives us a great start. So we'll just say generate hero search component. I'll commit that. We can close that tab and just go back to the tutorial. So the CLI generates the 3 hero search component files and adds the component to the app module declarations. Replace the generated hero search component template with an input and a list of matching search results as follows. So this is what our whole thing looks like here. So, and again, we're seeing this syntax, which they never, I guess it's like an input binding. I don't know if they ever actually told us what the name of it is. They sort of just introduced this without explanation, but what to me this means is that we have a variable called search box, and it's being bound from this input into wherever we decide to use it, which happens to be what we pass to the handler. So anytime this input changes, I suppose, we pass whatever the value is here. So search is probably going to be on our component. So yeah, let's see. So we've got our label for our input like we always should. We've got the input, which is just passing whatever gets typed in this input gets passed to the search function, which we haven't made yet. And then we have our search result, which is going to be a link And here's something that we haven't seen before. So we have this heroes with a $sign on it, which I'm assuming that doesn't have any special meaning. It's probably just a conventional thing. My guess is that this is to denote probably that this is like a observable. And then this is a pipe, which we've seen pipes already, but we haven't seen this pipe, which is the async pipe. And each one is going to be a link. So we have to use a red or link attribute that hits an endpoint called detail/hero ID, which we've set up in a previous video. So that link will just take you to the hero, and then we're going to output the name as the link. So let's copy all of that. We're going to go over to our hero search component. So hero search component TS. And I will paste, oh no, sorry, not the TypeScript file, but the hero search component HTML, HSCH. So I'll go here. We're just going to replace all that with this. And you can see we still have to define the search method, and then whatever this hero's dollar property is, we still have to define that too. So let's go back over here. Add private CSS styles to hero search component CSS as listed in the final code review. So we will actually jump ahead and grab that. So here's our hero search component files, and if we just go all the way to the end, we got this. Copy that. And we never read the CSS because we're just not here to learn CSS today. We're here to learn Angular. So we will go to the hero search component CSS. Paste this in. Of course, we're not going to be able to see what it looks like yet because our app is, well, one, it's not running. So I should probably fix that first. Let's get this application going. So if I go ng serve -- open, that'll kick that off for us. And with the magic of editing, that only takes about half a second, but for some reason cannot get /. I don't know if that's just because we're hitting the compilation error. It's just what's going on. Yeah, usually you see like a compilation like screen, like there was an error. So I'm not sure why we're seeing a different error, but I mean, we know that this is going to be broken. So let's just go on over to oh wait, is this one? No, this one also says cannot get. That's fine, we'll figure it out. We don't need this tab open anymore, so let's go back here. As the user types in the search box, an input event binding. Oh, okay, input event binding is what they call. Oh no, never mind, sorry, this is referring to this input event binding. So I don't know what this is called, just input binding maybe. So the input event binding calls the component search method with the new search box value async pipe. So this is the other new thing we're seeing here. So the ng4 repeats hero objects. Notice that the ng4 iterates over a list called heroes with a $sign, not heroes. The $ is a convention that indicates heroes is an observable, not an array. Okay. And it's just reminding us of what that looks like. Since ng4 can't do anything with an observable, use the pipe character followed by async. This identifies Angular's async pipe and subscribes to an observable automatically, so you won't have to do so in the component class. Right. So this is actually a long time ago when I tried Angular before, back in like version 6, I think it was. This was something that wasn't so obvious to me. Trying to like get data into a view, like asynchronous data. Because if you, well, let's not look at this component as an example, but we could look at, actually, what are we doing differently on our hero list? Oh, this was just something that I generated in the last video that we can delete. So let me get rid of that. We need that in there. Or that. Get out of here. No, in our heroes component, we are pulling in heroes asynchronously, right? But we're also this dot heroes dot get heroes subscribe, and then when that resolves, we're saying this heroes equals heroes. So that's, I guess, one way to do it. But the other way we could have done this was not subscribe. And then I guess you could use the async pipe operator instead in your template. Not sure. Once we get this compiling, I think I'm going to tinker with this a little bit just to try to get a better understanding. So let's go forward. Edit the hero search component class. Place the generated hero search component class and metadata as follows. So we're pulling in mostly stuff that we've seen before, but there is this new thing called the subject from Rxjs that we haven't seen. And then now we have debounce time, distinct until unchanged. Oh, there's a lot. Switch map. All things that we haven't seen before, and that's from Rxjs operators, apparently. Pulling in our hero type and then our hero service, and then using our component decorator to make this class a component. Wiring all that up like we've already seen, and then implementing on init like most of our components do, so that we have this ng on init method down here. So we have heroes dollar and then a not. So what does this mean in TypeScript? I actually don't remember. Yeah, I wonder, how do I find that out? Can you do like operator in TypeScript? Nullish coalescing. No, that's not what we're looking for. What if I just said bang operator? Let's see. What is this doing? When looking at source code, okay, yep, I see that. That's the non-null assertion. Oh, it's an assertion. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was so confused when we saw that a few videos ago. If I don't know if you saw that video, but there's another place where we're using this operator. I can find it in just a second, but I want to read this. So that's the non-null assertion operator. It is a way to tell the compiler this expression cannot be null or undefined here. So don't complain about the possibility of it being null or undefined. I like that. Sometimes the type checker is unable to make that determination itself. It is explained here. So this is presumably from the docs. So a new bang postfix expression, meaning it comes after an expression, operator may be used to assert that its operand is non-null and non-undefined in contexts where the type checker is unable to conclude that fact. Specifically, the operation x bang produces a value of the type of x with null and undefined excluded, similar to type assertions of the forms type tx and x as t. The bang non-null assertion operator is simply removed in the emitted JavaScript code. Yeah, he says, I find the use of, or she or he, I find the use of the term assert a bit misleading in that explanation. It is assert in the sense that the developer is asserting it, not in the sense that a test is going to be performed. The last line indeed indicates that it results in no JavaScript code being emitted. Yeah, that's a solid explanation. I'm going to give this guy one more thumbs up. So basically what this is just saying is that this type, even though the type system and TypeScript can't infer that this can't be null or undefined, we're letting it know it's okay. We've got this. We've sort of done our due diligence. We know that this can't be null or undefined. And just to bring up the other place that this happened, I think it was in the hero service. So if I go, where's our hero service? I'm just gonna look for it this way. Hero service TS, this one. There's this section down, you know, where was it? If I just search for it, there might actually only be one occurrence. Oh no. I mean, how many occurrences of not in this whole project are there actually? Let's see. Or did we end up getting rid of it? I wonder if we refactored away from it once we used the what do you call it? The in-memory, excuse me, the in-memory database. So yeah, I don't think I can find the example actually. But either way, we were using it in a case where something potentially could have been null or undefined, and I did not understand how that exclamation mark was doing it, but I could see that it was telling the type system that like this thing is valid or whatever. And I didn't know if it was a JavaScript thing or a TypeScript thing, but obviously it's a TypeScript thing. And that is something we should write down. So null, what do they call it? Oh, I already forgot. Bang operator in TypeScript. It was called the null, the non-null assertion operator. Okay, this isn't really Angular related. I'm just learning some TypeScript stuff here at this point, but that's cool. So let's go over to Notion. And I don't know. This isn't really a concept. I don't know where to categorize this, but just gonna say it's when you do X bang or whatever or whatever. It tells the compiler that the value of the expression cannot be null or undefined. Okay, that works for me. I'm gonna close this tab and we're just gonna move on. All right, so we've got to keep reading through here. So that we now understand what that is. And then we have this private search terms, which is going to be a new subject of string, which we don't really know what that means quite yet. I mean, I know I knew what a subject was at some point the last time that I worked with Rxjs, but I just don't remember. And then in our constructor, we're injecting our hero service. So yet again, even more code reuse because this hero service is just getting passed around everywhere, which is awesome. All right, so push a search term into the observable stream. So we got the search method, takes a term, which is of type string. It doesn't return anything, but it pushes. Okay. So search terms is a thing that has a next method on it, right? And we pass some value to it. And apparently the thing is an observable stream. So subject creates something called an observable stream, and we can push values onto that. And I can only assume that means anything in the app that's subscribing to that observable is going to get those events or those messages, or however you want to kind of think of that. Now in our ng on init, remember this method basically just gets called when our component gets mounted, or close to. I don't know the whole Angular lifecycle, but at some point when the component mounts, this function gets called automatically by Angular, and then we're saying that this hero's observable, that's why we got the dollar here, is equal to our this.search terms, which is also kind of an observable, but it's an observable stream. So still a little unclear on the differences there, but maybe it's just that an observable stream is something that you can like call this next method on. Excuse me. But anyway, we're gonna pipe. As we know, we can call this pipe method on observables, which just lets us pass in a whole bunch of methods that can do some work while like values are being emitted from that observable. So we've got this debounce time method, which just means wait 300 milliseconds after each keystroke before considering the term. Just in case you don't know what debouncing is, it basically just makes it so like I mean, this is one of the more common use cases actually, is when you're searching, you don't want to constantly be calling the search method with, like, let's just say like held down the H key or something. You don't want to just fire off the search method. Like, I don't know how many times would that fire off, right? Like if I just held it down for 1 second, that H key event is going to emit however many times. You just don't want to do that. So it's like it gives a little bit of time for the user to finish typing before kicking off the function. And then distinct until changed. What's this doing? It says ignore new term. You have same as previous term. Okay, so basically if they haven't changed the value, you don't need to call the search method again. Or rather, you don't need to do anything inside of this with this value again. And then switch to new search observable. Switch to new search observable each time the term changes. So we call this switch map, which takes a function that takes a term, and it's going to return this .heroService.search heroes of the term. Switch to new search observable. Honestly, I don't really understand what this is doing, other than the explanation is weird, but basically this is just a way for us to get, like, basically invoke a method, and I'm assuming get whatever the value of this is out of this pipe, and then that would get returned and set to our heroes observable. That's how that's making sense in my brain right now. But yeah, I'm not really understanding the verbiage or like the terminology here. It's a little weird to me. But that's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to learn. So let's copy this and go to hero search component. Just close off all these tabs real quick. All right, so hero search component, we're just going to replace the whole thing with everything that it gave us now that we gave that a good read through. This is, what is wrong with this? What's it saying? Observable of unknown is not assignable to type observable of hero array. Type unknown is not assignable to type hero array. So apparently this search term pipe is returning observable of unknown for some reason. And that's probably related to this syntax, or not syntax error, but type error, where search heroes does not exist on type hero service. We're probably gonna have to add that, and then I feel like this is gonna go away. So let's do that. Let's just keep going to this tutorial here. So notice the declaration of heroes $as an observable. You'll set it in ng on init. Before you do, focus on the definition of search terms. The search terms Rxjs subject. So I feel like this is going to be important to understand. The search terms property is an Rxjs subject, and let's see. So we kind of already read that code. A subject is both a source of observable values and an observable itself. Okay, I think that clarifies it to me then. It can both be a source of values, which is, I guess that's why we're able to call this like next method on it, because that is causing this to emit a value on the stream. But it also is something that can be observed, meaning it's observable. You can subscribe to a subject just as you would any observable. You can also push values into that observable by calling its next of value method, as the search method does. The event binding to the text box's input event calls the search method, and we saw that earlier before. Every time the user types in the text box, the binding calls search with the text box value, a search term. The search terms becomes an observable, emitting a steady stream of search terms. Okay, so I am going to basically, I think I'm just gonna, this right here, this whole paragraph, Usually I like to try to put this stuff in my own words, but like exactly that explanation helps that whole subject, or the subject called subject. It just clicks for me when it's said that way. So I'm going to go down here, and we're just going to go subject. Basically go like this. Yeah, a subject is both a source of observable values and an observable itself. You can subscribe to a subject as you would any observable. That's perfect. Okay. And now we're going to go here. So chaining Rxjs operators, passing a new search term directly to the search heroes after every user keystroke would create an excessive amount of HTTP requests, taxing server resources and burning through data plans. Instead, the ng on init method pipes the search terms observable through a sequence of Rxjs operators that reduces the number of calls to the search heroes, ultimately returning an observable of timely hero search results, each being a hero array. So here's a closer look at the code. Okay, so we kind of read through this before already, but let's read the description of each thing here. So each operator works as follows. Debounce time of 300, waits until the flow of new string events pauses for 300 milliseconds before passing along the latest string. You'll never make requests more frequently than every 300 milliseconds. So yeah, basically waits until the flow of the new string events pauses for 300 milliseconds before passing along the latest string. So I guess the way to think of that is the latest. Yeah, it sounds like it basically creates like a bottleneck, maybe, right? Everything's like queued up, and then after 300 milliseconds, it sort of lets it through. Distinct until changed ensures that a request is sent only if the filter text changed. Seemed pretty easy to understand that one. Switch map calls the search service for each search term that makes it through debounce. And distinct until changed. It cancels and discards previous search observables, returning only the latest search service observable. It cancels and discards previous search observables, returning only the latest search service observable. I feel like I might need a visual explanation of what this is doing exactly. But yeah, what I'm just understanding is that because we always only want to take whatever the latest value of what's been typed into that input, like we need this. So yeah, with the switch map operator, I'm going to open this up. Maybe we'll give this a read. It might give a better explanation of this. I don't think we're going to do this in this video though. Because we're already pushing close to 30 minutes now. So, but for later reading, let me grab this, go into the Notion, and we'll just make another section under questions. I feel like questions, and just say read later. Create a little bookmark there for that. Cool. And then I can just close that out. And so yeah, let's read this little thing here. So with the switch map operator, every qualifying key event can trigger an HTTP client.get method call. Even with the 300 millisecond pause between requests, you could have multiple HTTP requests in flight and they may not return in the order sent. Oh, right. Switch map preserves the original request order while returning only the observable from the most recent HTTP method call. Results from prior calls are canceled and discarded. Oh, okay. I think that makes more sense to me now. It's just kind of a better way of wording it. Note that canceling a previous search hero's observable doesn't actually abort a pending HTTP request. Unwanted results are discarded before they reach your application code. Okay. So remember that the component class does not subscribe to the hero's observable. That's the job of the async pipe in the template. Run the application again in the dashboard. Is it working now? It's not working. What's going on here? Open up the terminal. Just real quick. ng serve open. Looks like it got hung up on those type errors, which they shouldn't exist anymore, by the way, right? If I close that just for a second. Oh wait, no, it does still. Wait, why do we still have these? I thought we filled this stuff out. Did I not add the method? Let me go back. I think we gave it a read and then we never grabbed this. So hero search component, we did that one. And then weren't we supposed to add a search method to... Oh yeah, this is supposed to go on our hero search component, which we never did that. And then... No, we did do that, didn't we? Let me go check. I feel like we're... Did I skip something? Go back to the hero search component. Yeah, we put search there, but we never updated hero service. When was I supposed to add the search hero method? Oh, I totally skipped a whole section. I'm so sorry. I see. So here, search by name. Yeah, this was the one here. Search by name. In this last exercise, you will learn to chain observable operators together so you can minimize the number of similar HTTP requests and consume network bandwidth economically. You will add a hero search feature to the dashboard as the user types a name into a search box. You'll make repeated HTTP requests for heroes filtered by that name. Your goal is to issue only as many requests as necessary. So we got this hero service.search heroes method. This is the thing we're missing. Start by adding a search heroes method to the search heroes service. I totally skipped this. So yeah, let's grab. I'm just gonna copy here. We'll grab that whole thing. We'll give it a read through once we get into VS Code. So I'm gonna go to the hero service TS file. We'll just go down just after delete hero. We'll add search. So what is this thing doing? It is taking that term, returns an observable of hero arrays. Basically, if we're doing a term.trim to trim off any white space characters on the end, and this is basically saying if it's empty, we're just returning of empty array. And remember, of is that Rxjs function or operator. I don't know what you call it. Is it a function or operator? I guess it's just a function. And that is going to create an observable where it's just that empty array, which is just to conform to the contract. So then we have return this.http get of type hero array. We're hitting that heroes URL. This is basically the same as get heroes almost, right? Like if I go up to get heroes, similar, only now we are adding a query parameter called name. That's basically the only difference there. And then passing the term that comes in as an argument to this function. And then we're piping on that so that we can call our tap, which basically we're just saying if the emitted value has a length. And the reason we're doing this is going to be because of this guard here. Basically, if this ever gets called with an empty string, we don't want to log that we found heroes matching some term or no heroes matching. Basically, we just don't want this tap to record anything, because it means that a empty thing was given to the or piped through here, right? But otherwise, it is a list of heroes, and then we do log here. And we have our catch error method, just like we have in all of our other pipes throughout the service. So, okay, so now that that's there, we shouldn't have any compilation issues anymore. So let me check the terminal. It says it compiled successfully. Oof, I can go back over here. I don't need two tabs open this app. I should be able to refresh this. Okay. So now that we have this, Where did we put the... Is it on the dashboard? Where did we put the search input? I thought we put it here. This is for adding a hero, right? Okay, let me... Add search to the dashboard. App hero search. Oh, because I missed this whole part too. So yeah, we're gonna... It's basically just grabbing this. That's the only thing that's different. So I'm gonna go back to the dashboard component. Close the terminal out. Let's go dashboard component HTML. And just go down here and add our app hero search component. So now if I go here and I scroll down, oh, I'm on the heroes list. So I actually want to go dashboard. Okay, now I got a hero search. Do we got a Batman? We don't have a Batman. What about a doctor? Ooh, we got a Dr. Nice. All right, see that? That's pretty sweet. And we can click it and we can end up over here. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. There was a thing. I'm just trying to remember. I said something at the beginning of this video. I wanted to tinker with something and it's not. Oh, I wanted to tinker with the async pipe operator. So let me get back down in the tutorial until we hit where we were. Chaining Rxjs. We read that. And then now it wants us to try it. Okay, so we're actually at the end of all this and we're doing all right for time. 36 minutes. So let's do a quick little experiment. So I was kind of curious if in our hero component, we're subscribing here, but I'm wondering if heroes was actually just, oh, you see, so this is why we have to do it this way though, is because we're doing all this other stuff where we can like add, delete, and push. And if it was just an observable, we wouldn't be able to do that. But if all we were doing was getting, I feel like we probably could do something like, how is it done in the search one again? Let me go over here for reference. We just say it's of type observable hero, and how's it actually get initialized? I feel like if I did something like this, but over here, and let's just import observable, like that. And then when does get heroes? It gets called here. So if we did that, we actually went and just did this dot heroes equals, and then I'm just going to comment out. So I'm not going to subscribe. So this returns an observable of hero array, which means if I go to the hero component HTML file, and instead of doing a list of heroes, what if I switched it to this? Is this mad? Type observable of hero is not assignable to type ng iterable of any. But what if I pipe it through async? Does that fix it? It does. So I think this is going to break the stuff where we call like delete and add, but I think this will at least show a list of heroes. So if I go back over here and we click on the heroes list, and it does actually still, but yeah, if I try to delete, I mean, it's not an error. It's not talking to the right thing. And I don't think you can do this. I don't think you can't like push and then take values off of an observable, right? You have to have some sort of like memory representation, like an array representation, basically some data structure that you pull into your component to like keep track of all that stuff. So that's why we didn't do it this way when we were setting up a heroes component. But it made a lot more sense for the search term. So I'm just going to bring this back to where it was, which was just calling this. And then we don't need observable and we don't need that property. And everything should still be working. So let's refresh. I should be able to delete heroes again. I could add new ones. Right. And things persist even if I leave the page. I should still be able to do searching in here. Dr. IQ. And I can save. And his name is persisted. Of course, you lose all this if you refresh because it's just an in-memory database, not a real backend. But yeah, I mean, everything is working. I think that was kind of a cool experiment to try out. Yep, that's the end of that part of the tutorial. Are we at the end of the whole? What is this? Hang on. So we've got. Holy cow! That's the end of the whole Tour of Heroes tutorial. Wow, we're at the end. We made it. We got the final code review here. I'm not gonna read through the entire thing. If you want to, you can. But let's summarize the section that we just did. So you're at the end of your journey and you've accomplished a lot. I feel like we did actually. There's still obviously a lot more to Angular than what was covered in this tutorial, but I think this is like a pretty good introduction. So we added the necessary dependencies to use HTTP in the app. Of course, this summary is including last video as well, and maybe the video before that. I kind of have lost track of where we are. But we also refactored Hero Service to load heroes from a web API, extended Hero Service to support post, put, and delete methods, updated the components to allow adding, editing, and deleting of heroes, configured an in-memory web API, and learned how to use observables. So this concludes the Tour of Heroes tutorial. You're ready to learn more about Angular development in the fundamentals section, starting with the architecture guide. Oh, cool. Whereabouts is this? It's in, what do they have? They have, where are we? Reference, conceptual reference, Angular concepts, intro to basic concepts. Cool. Man, they have a lot of resources on their website. So I kind of want to see what this covers real quick, because this might not be the end of the series. We might just keep going through more of these tutorials. Let's see. Modules differ. At the very least, it's a review of all the stuff. Like this is definitely stuff that we learned in the Tour of Heroes. But yeah, I mean, this stuff could help just to revisit all the ideas and make sure we're thinking about things properly, and maybe help clarify some of the concepts and how things come together. Let's see. So we've got all that stuff. Next steps is tools and techniques. Got workspace and project structure. There's a whole section on dependency injection, which could be helpful. Observables and Rxjs, because that stuff's just crazy. I don't know. You know what? I might pause on doing these for just a little bit, but if you guys have anything related to Angular that you want to see me continue to learn about, just please let me know in the comments. And yeah, I'll definitely consider it. But for now, let's just say that that's the end of the episode, and I gotta just switch over into my view here. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more of these. You can also follow me on Twitter, Dan Fletcher Dev, and I stream sometimes on Twitch, Dan Fletcher, or sorry, what's my name on Twitch? The original Fletch. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time that I post a video, which may or may not be related to Angular. I don't know yet. All right, bye.